Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahana Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvinavaditamastu, Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And in Mauritius, they are having at the Shiva in-person seminar today, so that's where some of our attendees are in Mauritius. First topic, finding peace and contentment. Here are some amazingly effective techniques that can bring Shanti into your life. October 2018, Publisher's Desk. And this Publisher's Desk is based upon interacting with a number of Hindus who are experiencing states of discontentment with their life. It includes a number of suggestions from my Guru's teachings on how to live in a state of contentment, known as santosha in Sanskrit. You hear that when listening to conversations in Tamil, you hear the word santosha a lot, but it's just part of the culture, so the deeper meaning isn't necessarily reflected upon, but I used to notice that. Our spiritual park in Mauritius. Okay. Jai Ganesha, along with the country's many temples, large and small, fulfills the inner purpose of inspiring visitors to uplift themselves and experiencing some of the peace, Shanti, that is within each of us. That is our soul nature, our very essence. Gurudeva was boldly direct. Of peace he declared, for peace in the world. What is the rest of Gurudeva's statement? For peace in the world, da 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 da. And we go to the United Nations. For peace in the world, stop the war in the home. Stop the war in the home. Gurudeva was very big on that. This was his message to 1,200 delegates at the Millennium World Peace Summit of religious and spiritual leaders at the United Nations in August of 2000. While Gurudeva recognized the importance of governmental peacemaking, he placed even greater emphasis on the role of the individual. He stressed at the United Nations and elsewhere that each individual who becomes more peaceful inside himself or herself creates a more peaceful planet and moves us a tiny step closer to world peace. One person, one home, and one community at a time. Gurudeva gives clear advice in this regard. Maintaining joy and serenity in life means being content with your surroundings, be they meager or lavish. Be content with your money, be it a small amount or a large amount. Content with your health. Be content with your friends and companions. Be loyal to those who are your long-time trusted companions. Basically, contentment, santosha, is freedom from desire gained by redirecting the forces of desire and making a beautiful life within what one already has in life. Even though we may manage to find peace, Shanti, when we go to a temple, it can be difficult to maintain that sense of peace and contentment when facing the duties and challenges of our daily life. There it goes. Peace is gone. Perhaps we hold on to it for a day or two, but then it is gone. Here are some examples to illustrate maintaining peace and contentment. A man has passed over at work for a promotion that he thought was a certainty. His first reaction is to feel discouraged and sad, but after a few days he pulls himself out of this mood by the decision to accept his current employment, circumstances, and be happy within them while continuing to strive for progress in his career. So he adjusted, didn't get stuck in a negative state. Second example, a wife feels the family's apartment is too small, complains gently to her husband, expressing her discontent. Later in the day, while playing with her young daughter, her mood changes into gratitude for her child and husband, and the feeling of discontent for the size of their apartment diminishes. Third example, an attorney has spent his day doing difficult research on a technical legal issue. He finds his intellect overstimulated as a result, and he feels agitated. On the way home, he stops at a park and takes a walk, relaxing and enjoying nature's healing beauty. This quiets his intellect and he returns home in a peaceful mood. Fourth example, a teenage boy lies to his mother about where he went one afternoon. Afterwards, he finds that his mind is agitated. Disturbed by his guilt, he tells his mother the truth and soon finds himself peaceful again on the inside. And a question, what are some effective general guidelines for maintaining contentment? General guidelines. Let's look now at some specific suggestions on what we can do to experience the peaceful state of mind called contentment. The most basic requirement for maintaining contentment is avoiding adharmic or unvirtuous actions, such as dishonesty and lying, which will keep the mind and emotions stirred up and prevent us from being a peaceful person. A related strategy is not allowing ourselves to let disagreements turn into arguments. Disagreements are natural, but they need to be handled in an intelligent and harmonious way. Always be willing to compromise is a key to keeping difficult discussions from turning into arguments. One of the major causes of family arguments is holding the faulty attitude that the home is the proper place to let off steam. Express our upset. Husband is frustrated with his boss, but can't confront his boss about it. The daughter is upset with her teacher, who unfairly picks on her, embarrassing her in front of her classmates. Each family member may bring such frustrations home at the end of the day, take them out on others. This generates discord, frequent arguments, and keeps the family disturbed. The home ceases to be a protective refuge. Gurudeva has a brilliant insight about the home. He says that we need to consider the home a sanctuary for the entire family and never look at it as a place where we can let off steam or vent our frustrations emotionally. He stresses that it must have an even higher standard of professional behavior than school or the workplace. In such a haven, parents interrelate in a cultured, religious way without disharmony or argument. Children are respectful, parents are loving, and all are inwardly at peace. Question, if we cannot let off steam at home, how else can we handle that state of agitation? One might ask, if we cannot let off steam at home, where then can we? Leaving work or school in an emotional state, we can stop at a temple before going home, take a walk through a beautiful place, such as a park or a botanical garden, or walk along the beach and let the beauty of nature quiet our mind. Another place to let off steam is a fitness center where we can swim, run, and bicycle away our stress. When we reach home, we will be calm and ready to enjoy the family and not disturb it. Those who are at home all day, such as a housewife, raising a young child, can also become stressed. Same remedies apply. Leave the home for a while and visit a temple, a beautiful place, or a gym. Getting out of the house on a regular basis for stress-reducing activities is important. Gurudeva suggested that certain kinds of stress can best be released at the temple. Temple is the special place where we can let our emotions pour out to the deity. Whatever we feel, we can express to God and the gods and relieve ourselves of that burden without burdening other people. This may result in crying a lot, but that is acceptable at a temple. Another way to lose contentment is through getting caught up in cycles of desire. In our modern world, we constantly encounter advertisements implying that we will be happier if we buy some new product. Fancy cars, faster computers, high-tech mobile phones, fashionable clothes, all promise the elusive state of mind called happiness. Of course, new possessions do give a sense of elation, but that emotion is short-lived and we soon return to the same state of mind we were in before we bought the new possession. The key is to rise above this cycle of unhappiness, desire, acquisition, happiness, and unhappiness again. To overcome desire's powerful impulses, hold the perspective. What do you think would be a good alternative perspective to buying new objects to make us happy? I am grateful for and content with what I currently have. I am acquiring this product not because it will make me happier, but because my family will benefit in a meaningful way by having it. Be content with what you have, however, does not mean you should not seek to progress in life. It doesn't mean you should not use your willpower to fulfill your plans. Rather, it means you should not become upset while you are striving toward your goals, nor frustrated if you do not get everything that you want. Gurudeva proclaimed, life is meant to be lived joyously. Holding this buoyant attitude helps us avoid falling into the misconception that if we are serious about making spiritual progress and being regular in our sadhanas, we must hold tightly to a somber attitude toward life. We can be strict with ourselves, but joyous at the same time. Of course, if we are struggling with major difficulties, this perspective may temporarily be lost. However, Gurudeva's affirmation reminds us of the need to work with ourselves to regain a joyful perspective as quickly as possible. A potent metaphysical tool that Gurudeva offers emerging with Shiva is living in the eternity of the moment. It produces a feeling that one has no future to worry about and no past to regret. Worrying about the future is a frequent cause of discontent. Gurudeva teaches us to live in the now. He discovered a useful technique when he was just 7 years old. His father was driving him in a 1934 motor sled, heading home to Fallen Leaf Lake in a snowstorm. When they got stuck, he found himself worrying that he would be late and miss his favorite weekly radio program, Captain Midnight. The boy saw his awareness go off to the future and brought it back by telling himself, I'm all right now. It hasn't happened yet. Each time this worry came up in his mind, he repeated, I'm all right now. Through this process, he learned to control his awareness and vanquish his worries about what might or might not happen. What technique does Gurudeva suggest for being in the eternal now? Gurudeva urges seekers to practice being in the eternal now by asking the question, am I not all right now, right this instant? And answering, I'm all right now. You can perform this simple exercise whenever you find awareness wandering into the future and worrying about what might happen. Keep asking and answering yourself until you strongly feel positive, secure, and content. And our second topic, questions sent into satsang@hindu.org. We got a group of questions recently, which helps. We find there is no instant enlightenment, yet Gurudeva refers to having that one dramatic experience where everything we thought was things is turned upside down, sounding like an instant of enlightenment. Please comment. So there is no instant enlightenment, but there is an instant of enlightenment. What's the difference? As our answer, first let's read Gurudeva's explanation of why there is no instant enlightenment. If we plant a tree, we have to wait for it to grow and mature before we enjoy its shade. So it is in meditation. We make our plans for beginning the practices of meditation, then give ourselves enough time, several years, to fully adjust and remold the subconscious mind. Living as we do in the externalized culture of the West, we are conditioned to be in a hurry to get everything. When we try to internalize awareness too quickly through various intense and sometimes fanatical ways, we reap the reaction. Meditation goes fine for a brief span, but then externalizes again, according to the programs of our family and culture. To permanently alter these patterns, we have to work gently to develop a new lifestyle for the totality of our being, physically, emotionally, intellectually, and spiritually. This we do a little at a time. Wisdom tells us that it cannot be done all at once. We have to be patient with ourselves. If we are impatient on the path, failure is in view. We are going to fail because instant spiritual unfoldment is a fairy tale concept. So there is no instant enlightenment. The actual wording is instant spiritual unfoldment is a fairy tale concept. In this answer, the concept of instant enlightenment refers to being able to accomplish it in a short time. Take a weekend seminar and become enlightened. That doesn't work. Next to the second part of the question, and again I'll read the full quote, which is pretty short. We're here to realize the self, to have that one dramatic experience where everything that we thought was things is turned upside down and our whole perspective afterwards changes. This is using the concept that the experience of self-realization is in an instant changes our perspective. In other words, to reach the first experience of self-realization can take a long time, many lifetimes in fact. It cannot be done in an instant. However, when we're finally there, the knowledge that comes is instantaneous. So two different uses of the word instant. And we have Yoga Swami quotes words of our master. Two quotes today, okay, that are related. Look on praise and blame alike. So the question's out of order here. A man may come and praise, or a man may blame. Do not be affected. You are the witness. So look on praise and blame alike, and then a man may come and praise or a man may blame. Do not be affected. She's missing its T. You are the witness. So what does that mean to you? One answer to that question means you're identifying with awareness and not the outer personality. Then you are unaffected by praise or blame. So if we're thinking of ourselves as our outer personality, we always are trying to elevate it and protect it from being blamed. But it's not our fault. So we're very conscious of the outer personality. But if we're looking at the outer personality, we're detached from that process. We don't have to react to praise and blame according to other people's concepts. Oh, thank you much. Sorry for the technical rough start here, getting near the eclipse. Maybe we were eclipsed today. Oh.